Hey, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. And once again, it's another magnificent Monday. I'm so excited to be here with everybody on tonight. I hope that you have had a fantastic day, a fantastic weekend, and you have really just enjoyed this Monday coming back into the work week. But tonight, we are here in MsG's Ladies Lounge, your relaxation station, so you can let your hair hang down and you can put your feet up and just relax with us. You don't have to worry about a thing. We're going to do all the talking and you can just listen, or you can join in our chat and get in on the conversation. So listen, hi, my name is Gwen Finley. I am the host of MsG's Ladies Lounge, and I'm so excited once again to be here. I have a great show on tonight. It is the first Monday of April. Now, you know what that means. Every first Monday, we're here with the Visionaries Roundtable. So today we have two people joining me at the table, and we are going to be in for a wonderful, wonderful conversation, a wonderful chat. We're excited and we're ready to just open up this chat with you all on today. So, what I'd like for you to do, if you don't mind, is just to take a moment to like, tag, and share and let everyone know that we are live and getting ready to have this wonderful chat. So, before we get started, let's just take a look at who's coming in with us today. All right, so there you have it. You've seen that we've got two great guests coming in on today. Dr. Z. Michelle Hughes is getting ready to join us, and also Turketta A. Jones. She is one of the funniest ladies that I have met in a very long time. When you say you're a comedian and you actually know how to make people laugh, that's probably a good thing, right? So tonight we are going to experience her great gift of laughter, or gift to make others laugh and be happy as well. So let's get ready for tonight's show. I want to just tell you a little bit about my guest before we get started. And don't forget to let us know if you're here. Let us know if it's your first time. Just say hey, just pop on in the chat. We'd love to know that you're here with us. You can join in the conversation. You can send us some hearts, some love, whatever way that you feel to join in this chat on today. So we are going to first introduce this young lady, Dr. Z. Michelle Hughes, who is an ordained pastor. She's the wife of Pastor Darrell L. Hughes, and they both serve as ministry leaders along with their senior pastor, Dorothy L. Hughes, at Victory Christian Center, RVA, where she also serves as the director of church operations and administrations. She is the owner president of Empowered to Change LLC, an organization established to teach young women everyday life skills while propelling them towards the road to success. And she is also the owner and president of Empowered to Change Consulting LLC. She holds a Doctor of Business Administration degree in Human Resources Management, two Master of Business Administration degrees, one with a concentration in healthcare management, and the second with a concentration in human resource management, both from the American Intercontinental University, an executive graduate certificate in management, and a Bachelor of Business Administration, both degrees from Strayer University. She's also an ASQ certified quality auditor. We'll tell you what that is later. Certified in hazard critical control points and standard first aid and CPR in 2019 and then in 2019, after 36 and a half years of service, she decided to retire from Philip Morris as a quality analyst. She is a certified public speaker with Toastmaster International. She is an encourager and loves to make people smile. She is an ardent believer in the word which says, "If I regard iniquity in my heart, the Lord will not hear me." Psalm 66 and 18. And also, thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee because he trusts in thee. Dr. Michelle, we're so excited to have you with us. How are you?
Hey, I am wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. Listen, it's such a privilege to have you with us on today. I know that our guests will probably remember that you've been here with us a few times, and today you're kind of going to be able to actually talk about some of the things that you do. Many times you've been here with us, and we talked about so many different things. But tonight we're going to get into what you do as well as our subject for tonight, which I didn't announce, and I'll go ahead and say that once I remember what it was. No. So our subject for tonight is life and death are in your hands. And so we're going to talk about that. And we have another wonderful guest coming into the studio in just a minute. And so her name is, I don't know if I'm probably messing it up. It's probably Turketta Jones. Keet, as she is affectionately known as, was born, she gave me the thumbs up. I like that. Was born on September 12th, 1979 to the late Calvin C. Jones Jr. and Shella J. Jones. She has two sisters, Tanya Johnson and Tammy Terrell Johnson. She hails from and resides in Chesterfield County, Virginia, and is a member of City Church under the leadership of Dr. Dimitri and Pastor Nicole Bradley. Uh, Tur- mm, Turketta recognized her gift of comedy at a very young age and was given the opportunity to do her very first stand up routine at the Bethesda Baptist Church here in Colonial Heights, Virginia, which is her home church. Woo woo. All right. She not only loves to make people laugh, but she lives to make people laugh. And she knows that her gift only comes from God and that laughter is like good medicine. Oh, y'all, please just put your hands together. Just give us a drum roll, whatever it is that you want to do. And welcome, Turketta, Keeta, Keet. All right, I'm going to just call you Keeta Keet from now because I'm not going to keep messing up your name.
Listen, that's totally fine. I always say I don't matter. I don't care what you call me, as long as you call me for dinner. So you, so you
I
good.
know that's right. I know that's
Hello,
right.
everyone. Thank y'all so much.
All right. Yes. And we got some people popping in, and I guess we've got Fenice here, and we've got Marie all the way from Florida. Hey, cuz, love you. And so we're so excited to have you all here with us. And tonight we are talking about uh, life and death. Life and death. Now, what made me come up with this is because some of the things that we're going to talk about, people may get a little nervous about it. But at the same time, um, we are going to talk about some things that people will be excited about. And
Yeah.
it's about life and death. And some people don't want to talk about death, they only want to talk about life. But death is a part of life. And so we need to talk about it all. So tonight we're going to do just a little bit of that. God bless you. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Tabitha. And Deacon Diane, hi, how are you? Glad to have you here with us. So listen, don't forget to like, tag, and share. All right, let's get into our conversation, our little chat here. What I'm going to do is give you all each a few minutes to just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do. Just tell us something that I didn't read in your bio that you can share with others. I'm going to start with Keeta.
Okay. Again, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, Miss Gwen, for inviting me here. I'm truly excited, and it is an honor to be here. Just real quick, but as you all know from the bio, I am a clean Christian stand-up comedian. Um, but I also am a host. I am a recording artist. Well, I recorded one song. So
Me too. You're an artist, girl.
That's it.
record one song. I'm an artist now. But I released my first single on My Light the end of October of 2021. It's a rap song, so definitely y'all can go and check that out. It's on all streaming platforms. And I act as well. I've been in several stage plays and short films as well. And I also have my business. I am an entrepreneur, Jeans and Sneaker Girl Entertainment, which began in 2021 as well. So, yeah.
Wow, that sounds exciting.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
think
Oh,
I
and I'm sorry,
didn't.
I'm in school.
Go
I'm in
ahead.
school. Yes.
All right.
Wonderful.
What are you pursuing, if you don't mind sharing?
Absolutely. I am pursuing marriage and family therapy. I'm sorry, master's degree in marriage and family therapy to ultimately become a licensed marriage and family therapist.
Wow. See, you didn't even add that in your bio. So,
I didn't.
but somehow, I mean, it just fits right into our chat on today, and I didn't even
Yes.
know that much about you.
Yeah.
See, well, that's awesome, awesome, awesome. God
Thank
does all
you.
things well.
Yes.
We've got Latrice. Hey, Latrice, welcome, welcome.
Hi.
Amen.
Yes, Dr. Tabitha said that's awesome. The ladies are giving you some hands up.
My
All right.
besties.
So, oh, okay.
Yes.
Awesome. So, Dr. Michelle, tell us a little more about yourself.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and I'm happy to be on this platform with this young lady, Miss Keeta Keet. I
And you
that
too.
I feel like I've known her all my life. I can't wait to laugh because laughter is so good for the soul.
Yes, it
Not
is.
a whole lot of extra things to tell. It's basically all in the bio. I am extremely, extremely busy. I've been retired for 3 years, but I still do a lot of work, even in my retired stage. I have three wonderful adult children. I have nine fantastic grandchildren. I am on the road to becoming a millionaire, and that is what I am working towards. I love to give, and I keep asking God for more money so I can give more money away.
All
One of
right.
the things that I don't think a lot of people know about me is I am certified. It's called hazard and critical control points, which means I can actually walk into a restaurant and shut it down. And I don't talk about that piece, that's part of my quality world, but I can actually do that. So I have many, many skills that some of them are hidden. I am an author in the making. I started
All
my
right
first
now.
book. I have written 5 chapters
Yes.
and hopefully it will be finished. The first of 4 books that I have floating around in my head. So I'm
Wow.
really excited. I'm
Awesome.
I'm looking to publish the first one in a couple of months.
All right. Wow. Isn't that exciting? All right. That is so awesome. Listen, so I mean, you ladies are just doing fantabulous things, and I think the world is just so happy to have you. And some of them may not even know that they're happy to have you in their lives yet, but
Mhm.
they will after a while, right? All
Amen.
right. So let's get into our subject. So my first question is going to be, what does it mean to you when someone says you have life and death in your hands? Now I know the Bible says, let me just put this little piece out. I know the Bible says how life and death is, the power in the power of the tongue,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And like the power of the
But
tongue. Mhm.
there is also a scripture that talks about that God has given us, set before us life and death. And then he
Mhm.
says, therefore, choose life. So
Yeah.
we have a choice. So the
Mhm.
power of life and death is also in our hands.
Mhm.
Now, let's talk about what that actually means to you. Whoever wants to start first. Dr. Michelle.
Okay.
So
She
I
gave you the opportunity.
was like, I'm reading. To read my notes down here. Okay. So what does that mean? Life and death are in your hands. The Bible says, whatever you find your hands find to do, do it as unto the Lord.
Mhm.
And so I think when the life part comes in, that is, you can build things up with your hands. Some people are creative writers, some people are creative seamstresses, some people are just creative in planting things. So when I
Mhm,
think of that as life in your hands, that's causing things to grow and I guess elevate them and purge them, and you can tear out. You can take your hands and pull out the old weeds when you're
Mhm.
doing gardening and things like that. So that's what I think about when it says life and death are in the hands, because you
Mhm.
can create a lot of things. You have people that create with painting, that's the
mhm,
Yeah.
power in the hands. You have people that do pottery work. You have people that crochet. So these are things that they're doing with their hands. And when the word says he give you power to get wealth, you can have power
Mhm.
to get wealth in your hands. So
right.
when I think of that life and death are in your hands, it's things that you can do. And maybe that's simplifying it, but that's how I look at it. I have a niece that is a fantastic hairstylist,
Mhm,
and
Mhm.
she does braiding, and then her husband's he's a barber. So that power in their hands, and everybody can't do hair, everybody can't cut hair, he can
Mhm.
do some mean eyebrows, he can do some so everybody can't do that, but
mhm,
they're really 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 great in doing that, and they have a fantastic shop, legendary beauty and cuts, a husband and wife team, but they're using
Amen.
the power of their hands to
Mhm.
create life
Mm-hmm.
to us with our hair and the whole 9 years. So that's just my takeaway. Maybe simplified, but yes.
That's good.
Mhm. Do you want to add to that, Keita?
Sure. Well, I definitely want to piggyback off the thing about everybody can't do eyebrows. I want to say because specifically me, I had to buy a stamp just to do these. Um, and so it took me 15 minutes to try to get them to look like twins. So she is right. Everyone can't do.
It's not in everybody's hands.
No, everyone cannot do. So I'm going to say but yeah, but just to kind of definitely piggyback off that, Miss Gwen, you said the Bible talks about life and death being in the power of the tongue, or
Mm-hmm.
the power of
Mhm.
life and death being in the tongue.
Right.
And but what when we think about life and death in our hands, and you also mentioned the scripture about God gives us choices,
Mm-hmm.
but he wants us to choose life.
Right.
But
Mhm.
he says, I set these two things
Mhm.
before you. So when I think about life and death also being in your hands, I also think about the things that we do
Mhm.
daily that
Mm-hmm.
Right.
line up with either life or
Mhm.
death.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Um, Not just speaking life, but when we're out and about, are we
Right.
being a light to people when
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
when we're out? That's life. That's speaking life.
Mhm.
Or not speaking life, but that's living life.
Right.
Or when we're out here driving reckless on 95.
Right.
Uh, are you dealing
Absolutely.
with life right now, or are you trying to you go quickly? Are you
Come
you
on.
know you dealing with that? So even in our decisions
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
that we make, are we lining them up with life? Are we lining them up with death? And that could be physical death, that could be spiritual death, that
Mm-hmm.
could be emotional, that could be mental.
Mhm.
It's all in how you're looking at it. So to me, when I think about that, when you talk about choices, I believe that it's definitely dealing with the choices and decisions that we make. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've been in a pandemic for a long time. It's too long. you know, I mean, we've dealt with a whole lot of things that have come and gone, and this one seems to be lingering on and on. But like I said to some ladies that I had over the other day, I was like, we outside. We haven't been out, and fellowship in a long time. How do you feel about how we are transitioning back to life as we've known it before? Are you do you feel like you really um, do you feel like you're doing anything to really transition back into life as you knew it before, or have you made some choices to live life differently?
Hmm.
Keet, you can start.
Okay. All right.
With,
um
with, with tag team.
yes, ma'am. Okay. Well, to be honest, I think for me, even though the outside is back open, of course, I'm still wearing my mask and things like that, being cautious.
Mhm.
But I feel like I'm doing things a little bit differently before the pandemic. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, I know when people kept saying, once it's over, we can go back to normal.
Mhm.
And I kind of was like, I don't really want to go back to normal.
Mhm.
Because there were some things that were happening before the pandemic that was our norm that I really don't want
Right.
to go back
Right.
to or
Mm-hmm.
take on. There were some things, even not just um, uh, globally, but within our culture, in our
Mhm.
community, that we were
Right.
experiencing on a regular basis. And so when people say, I want to go back to normal, I was like, I don't think you want to go back to that.
Right.
I think God's trying to reset some things.
Mhm.
And so when we want to always grab back onto the norm because it's comfortable, we have
Mhm.
to look at what was normal
Right.
and kind of let go of the normal things and kind of take hold of the things that God is trying to reset, redo. Of course, it takes time and things like that. It can't be clearly it can't be done within these 2 years. But I kind of saw God like resetting some systems
Mhm.
during that time. And for me now, I would just say this, and this is just me. I don't believe that God brought on this pandemic. He didn't bring on the plague.
Right.
This didn't. This did not come from God.
That's right.
This was definitely evil, but
Mhm.
God can still use
Mhm.
um, things while we're sitting down, being
Mhm.
sat down, because for some of us that was the time for us to sit down and and rest. And I think during that time he was able to speak to many of us to say,
Mhm.
listen, this is what I'm trying to do. Y'all been praying for a long time, but y'all need to stand still or sit still long enough to hear what I'm trying to tell you. So
Mhm.
um I hope that answered the question. I hope I didn't.
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is, even what he doesn't send, he allows.
Yes.
And if he doesn't
Exactly.
allow it, it won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So when he allows it, it's because he has a purpose behind it. So
Absolutely.
in the midst of it all, if he allowed it to happen, he's still gonna get the glory in the midst of all of it.
That's right.
He's still gonna get the glory.
Yeah.
Dr. Michelle?
I agree with Keet. Some things we don't want to go back to the
Mhm.
normal. And
Mhm.
so for me, I can't really say I've changed a lot of things. I didn't watch a lot of online. I was watching some online church, but I like to assimilate myself with the people. I like to be
Mhm.
in the midst of people. I
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
So I wear my mask sometimes. I don't wear it all the time. I gotta say that quietly.
Yeah.
So hubby won't hear me. So I think for me, one of the things I did launch a business, so it did have
Amen.
some people to sit down because a lot of
Mhm.
times we were just going, going, going. I was going
Mm-hmm.
a lot, so I've sort of minimized my going. As I don't go as much. I really, really strategically design my day on when I go out to pick my grandson up in the whole 9 yards. So I launched a business, another business, and then a lot of people made a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
during the pandemic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Some people wrote books, some
Yeah.
Mhm.
people published things, some people started selling clothing. The Lord really allowed me to be able to help people get a lot of money, and I was doing it almost for free. So I thought,
Wow.
why not charge?
Yeah.
Right.
They're getting thousands of dollars. Let me try to make some money
Yeah.
while I'm getting them money.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mhm.
learned some things in the midst of that. So I think just for me, launching my new business, my second business, and then being compensated for the work that I was already doing for free.
Yeah.
So that opened the
Mhm.
door. And then really some of these books were kind of birthed in my brain, some of them from the
Mhm.
pandemic as well, because
Amen.
we had so much time to stay in the house and sit
Yeah.
down.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So we have a guest over here. Yvonne Burrell says Proverbs
Yay, one of
14:1
my former coworkers. Hey,
to the
Yvonne.
wise woman, speaks to the wise women, build her house, and a foolish pulls it down with her hands. We as women have to
Mm-hmm.
be careful that we are building versus destroying each other. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
is
Amen.
definitely true.
Amen.
But I think during this pandemic, I think a lot of women have learned more unity as well. You will
Oh,
see,
yes.
if you look
Yeah.
out there, you'll see so many things because people realize that we really needed each other in the midst of this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have your family, you can have, people that you work with every day, but there was also a need to reach out. And I guess it's because we didn't have that outdoor activity where we just go and go and go. And we had time to sit, as you said, and really see what
Mm-hmm.
life was actually about for us.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it gave us the opportunity to realize that relationships were necessary, that
Absolutely.
friendships were necessary,
Yes.
and even just having the prayer partners and the people that you can just have a conversation with
Mm-hmm.
to build each other up. So that
Hmm.
was another thing, and I think that we have put ourselves in a great place. The problem now is that the world is opening back up. And
Mm-hmm.
so, the question comes, what is it that people will do from this point forward? Now, during the pandemic, we also saw a lot, some good, some not so good.
Yeah.
And it also should have made a lot of people start thinking about life differently.
Correct.
Um, and you heard a lot about self-care and
Mm-hmm.
all this kind of stuff. Um, and many people heard about it because they actually wasn't doing it before that. So
Yeah.
all of a sudden they began to hear about self-care. It just
Yeah.
didn't
Mhm.
dawn on them that that was something
Mm-hmm.
they should have been doing all along, right?
Yeah.
Because the Bible tells us that our bodies are a temple and we're supposed to
That's
take
right.
care of it. So self-care really is not really a thing. It's a commandment. It's a commandment.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
To
That's
to
good.
to perform self-care because what He has given us, we have the charge over, and it's our responsibility to take control over that and charge over that, which
Absolutely.
many of us have failed at. Many, many,
Yeah.
many, many. So now they're talking about living well. So what does it mean to live well? What are some ways that we can live well in this day and time where it does seem like um, people are stressed out because of the pandemic or just circumstances in general? What does it mean when we say that we can live well?
Hmm.
So I think for me is, we really need to watch what we put into our bodies. Your body is the temple, so
Yeah.
you need to watch what you're putting in your bodies. And we do need, I hate that E word, but it's necessary exercise. Like you say, the self care. We
Oh
really
Lord,
do
poor
need
E
to take
word.
care of ourselves, and that's exercising and doing even spiritual exercise. And I do
Mm-hmm.
this thing on my phone where I create all these words from different letters just to keep my brain
Yeah.
motivated and active instead of just sitting there doing binge watching of some things. I
Right.
just discovered Netflix. Oh my God, they have really I'm literally just discovered Netflix. And so I have to make sure I don't binge watch and just
Yeah.
aimlessly stare at the TV. I literally just discovered that. And it is awful, awful, awful. So there are some days where I just
Yeah.
want to sit there and it's like, I can be doing this, I can be doing that. So I think that when you're living well, is you have a balance.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
Must have a balance. One doing all shopping and no praying and no reading and no fasting, no exercising, no walking, and none of that is not good. So there must
Yeah.
be a balance in order for you to live well. And I think for me too, a key was the self care. Now I faithfully did a monthly massage before the
mm,
pandemic.
Yeah.
Got
mm,
my toes done, got my nails done, got my eyebrows done, got my hair done, the whole 9 yards. Of course, the pandemic sort of stopped that. It slowed it down, but as soon as it lifted, I was back to
mm.
my massaging. The
Mm-hmm.
exercising thing, not so much. The eating well thing, not so much. Lost a lot of weight, it found me. I lost it all, but it found me again. So now we're working on losing it again and not
Mm,
finding it again.
Yeah.
But this, I think the balance is having a balance to live well and then to eat the right things and
Mm-hmm.
don't put all this junk. It's not that you can't eat chocolate sometimes, just don't eat it all the time.
Yeah.
mhm.
Eating the fruits, eating your vegetables, taking your vitamins because we want to
Mm-hmm.
live long. I
Yeah.
think that's my take.
That's good.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's good. I totally agree with
Mhm,
Dr. Michelle. Talking about the physical
mhm,
aspects of well,
Mhm.
and but of course, I also think about the mental and
Mhm.
emotional aspects of well,
right. Yeah.
especially going into the mental health field, going into
Mm.
the counseling field, and the
Mhm,
importance of when you're talking about self care, Miss Gwen, that you also talk about wellness
right.
Mhm.
and physical wellness, spiritual wellness,
Mhm,
emotional wellness,
Mhm.
occupational wellness.
Oh yeah.
Um,
right.
yeah, absolutely. All of those things are definitely important. And when Dr. Michelle, you were talking about balance, I totally agree with that because a lot of times we will just put most of our eggs in a certain like one basket or
Mhm.
two or three and leave these other three or four empty
Mhm.
And we're wondering why we're so burnt out, and we really can't uh, give to those who really desire us or need us,
Right.
and
Mhm.
that type of situation. And I have found this out just with me, and I'll speak for me. Um, I'll be so tired, maybe like the next morning waking up, but I know I didn't do anything as far as exercise, anything strenuous.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering, Lord, why am I so tired? Only
Mm.
to realize that the day before I
Mhm.
had been on the
Mhm.
phone, or I
Oh.
experienced some type of um distress,
Mhm.
whatever it was emotionally,
Wow.
or it was something that kind of like drained me mentally, and then I
Mm.
wake up physically tired. And
Mhm.
so the Lord
Wow.
showed me that a lot of people think that it's the other way around. No, when you are emotionally and mentally drained, it will affect your physical,
Physical.
Yes.
Absolutely.
not the other way around.
Oh, wow. That's
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
that's why it is highly important to manage stress. It's
Yes.
Mhm.
highly important to practice self care, because the mental and emotional will actually physically take a toll on
Mhm.
you.
Right. Yeah.
And so when I definitely think about wellness, definitely the physical wellness, because I too, in the pandemic, the only exercise I was doing was going to the refrigerator and open up the cabinets. That's it. That's all you had.
Mhm.
Just right arm strong.
Right.
So,
The
just right arm
strong
really strong.
arm.
But that is all of the exercise that I was doing. Even going to the fast food places now, they make cars now that all you gotta do is
Mhm.
push a button. You don't even have to roll the window down anymore. Back in the day, you had to do it manually.
Right. You
So
got
now
some
all
kind
you
of
do is
exercise
Yeah.
somewhere.
you just hit that ding. Yeah, let me go ahead and get that number 3 off you.
Right.
So and look, and then the insides were closed. So you couldn't
Right.
walk
Right.
Right.
to the
Right.
inside. You couldn't even get that exercise.
That's
So
right.
you were so
Oh,
if you
God.
weren't walking around the block, you were stuck.
Stop.
So
Mhm.
yeah, just stuck. And so
Mhm.
that's why I said, but yeah, definitely your mental well-being, your emotional well-being is highly
Mhm.
important, just as important as your spiritual
That's good.
wellness
And
and your
that
physical.
is real good. So,
Mhm.
I just told someone this yesterday. I think I was talking to, I can't remember who, but I told someone this yesterday. And one of the things that I realized was I was talking to my aunt, and she was asking me how I like my new job. And I just started yet another new job. However, and I've moved around in jobs here and there over the years, but I stayed on one job, for 5 years, and I would have stayed there except for a medical situation. And then I moved from there and I stayed on the next job for 4 years. And I really planned to retire from there because this is my retirement year. Thank you, Jesus. So I
Mhm.
plan to retire from there.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
However, However, it was so stressful and it was so much drama. And
Mm.
I was just at that point in my life where I felt like I can't do drama anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
can't do
Right.
stress anymore. And
Yep.
so I went from there and I went to another job, and the finances just wasn't there or whatever, just things was happening. So
Mm-hmm.
um, then I went to another job, and the finances was best finances ever. Best finances ever. It
Mm-hmm.
seemed like it was a great situation, but I came home every day feeling stressed out. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize I was stressed out at first. I didn't even realize that this was what was happening to me.
Mhm.
What
Mhm.
I felt in my body was just tired all
Yeah.
the time. I felt my limbs felt stressed and weak.
Wow.
And I could barely get up. I was dragging myself to work every day.
Wow.
And I liked the environment to a degree. There was some things about it that I really just didn't like, but I wanted to be there so bad that I was
Mhm.
pushing myself to go every day. And
Mm.
Yeah.
then one day, a situation took place, and you know what? it just said ding 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 ding.
Gotta go.
Girl, get yourself
Yep.
out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Get yourself out of here because this is not worth it.
Yeah.
And even if I didn't do it the way I probably should have, I just had to do it. I just
Mm-hmm.
had to say, this is not for me. I
Yeah.
had to go through what I had to go through. And I'm going to tell you from the day that I said goodbye, my whole body shifted.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
My
I believe
entire body shifted. I'm not going to say I don't have aches and pains because I'm getting older. I do have
Yeah.
those aches and pains,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have that chronic pain that I was having and waking up in the morning and feeling stressed. I go to
Yeah.
work now. If I go in at 7:30, at 4 o'clock, I'm going home. I haven't done that in years. I have
Wow.
been coming home 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, bringing work home with me. I don't bring no work home with me. And
Amen.
so we have to learn how to disconnect from all of that stress, all of
Yes.
that. If we say we're going to live well, you have to know how to live well. And sometimes it means walking away from something.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes it means letting go of something.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you live well. And it doesn't mean that you always just do things carelessly, but sometimes you just have to, as they say, step out on faith and do
Exactly.
something different. And let me tell you, I was out there on a limb for a minute, and I was like, God, I know this ain't how I'm supposed to live, but what I don't know what you're gonna do. And the very moment that I thought that it was just I had to give up, I was like, God, I don't know. This something has to happen. And
Mm-hmm.
I said I had stopped looking for jobs because I had been applying, and I had just stopped. And then one day I said, let me open this back up. And I opened up back up the app, and I looked and I saw this little job, and I was like, hmm, this looks like it might be good. And I put in for it, and I went there. I was all dressed up. And I went to that interview, and by the time I got back home, the lady called me and offered me the job.
Wow.
And I
That's
said,
wonderful.
this is, and it was not even the pay that I was making, but I knew it was irrelevant about how much they were paying me at the moment because I
Mm-hmm.
knew this was a peaceful place that I could go to.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yes.
tell you now, my coworker and I was talking today, and she said the same thing. I am excited to get up to go to work again.
Mm.
I'm
That's
excited to get up
awesome.
to go into work. I don't have any problems with going there and doing what I got to do. And today, and they are like, "Come on, let's go. Time to go." I'm like, "Oh, okay, let me get my stuff." And at 4 o'clock, 4:30, we walking out the door.
That's
Everybody.
good. Yeah.
Everybody.
Oh,
Nobody's
that's
leaving any
wonderful.
work behind. And so you have to learn how to live well. I mean, and it
Yeah.
Yes.
might take some kind of sacrifices in some ways, but God will make it up in other ways.
Mm. Yes, he will.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where we are on living well. I wasn't supposed to say all that. But anyway, um,
That was good.
But that was good. Someone needed to hear that.
Exactly.
someone needs
I
to
was
Yeah.
I
hear
was going
that
to say
because
that too.
we have to stop putting ourselves in harm's way. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? We have to stop thinking that we have to do everything and we have to be this and we have to be that. But God is our source and He's our resource. And
Mhm.
whatever
Yes.
we don't make on these little jobs or businesses, God is going to make it up to us.
Oh, I
Yes.
Okay.
believe that.
And when I tell you, Dr. Michelle, she and I are personal friends, and she knows. And from just from this past week, he has done something that I really didn't think he would ever do.
In
I
in
didn't think I would
advance.
ever see. And then in advance, and then another opportunity where I don't have to worry about finances like that anymore,
Mm.
Amen.
even though
Amen.
I'm not making what I thought I was supposed to make. So God will do what He needs to do. We just need
Yes.
to do our part and take care of ourselves. So
Mhm.
I know
Amen.
we've
That's
been
good.
talking about life, and we're getting to a short point here, but we've been talking about life, and so I want to talk a little bit. I'm gonna switch a little bit, and I'm gonna move over to Dr. Michelle, And Dr. Michelle, you are a person, and I don't want to say we're going to talk about death, but
Mhm.
should people be thinking about death as they are living well?
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
yes, go
Go ahead.
ahead.
I'm sorry. Absolutely, they should be thinking about that because one thing that we have to realize is this is not our final home. It's like I did
Mm-hmm.
not come here to stay. We're just pilgrims just passing through. And it behooves us to think about death because I cannot tell you how many GoFundMe's, and you've seen them. Somebody dies. They died tragically, or they died unexpectedly, and then they're putting up these GoFundMe. They did not have insurance,
Yeah.
or they don't have enough money. So that means somebody didn't think. No, a parent should never bury their child,
Yeah.
but life happens. My mother buried two of my sisters. One was 36 and one was 38,
Wow.
but she prepared. I walked into the funeral home. I said, "What kind of funeral can we have for $5,000?" Had a cashier's check because she had prepared
Yeah.
for
Mhm.
her children. Well,
Yeah.
four of
Right.
them. She had six, but she only prepared for four. My sister and I guess we were on our own because she didn't prepare for us. She's not doing anything for us.
Oh Lord.
So for my other four siblings, she did. So when both
Wow.
my sisters passed, I went to the bank, got a cashier's check, and walked into a funeral home and said, "What can I do for $5,000?" Because the funeral industry is very unregulated. A lot of people don't have insurance. A lot
Yeah.
of people don't have wills. They don't have anything in place, and we have to realize, oh, we're going to leave here. We don't know
Mm-hmm.
when, but we will definitely leave here. And so I have all these things in place, and I really don't want to leave without my husband. Left my daughter all of these instructions. If this
Mhm.
happens to me, you're gonna have daddy. And she has two brothers, but I'm depending on her. And she's like, well, what am I gonna do? Who's gonna help me? I said, Daddy can't do anything, so you have to do everything. So I told my husband everything, but I
Yeah.
know it's a man. He's a man, so he knows everything. But we have to have in place. We need a will. You can do a living will. You can
Yeah.
do a regular will. A living will is good. It helps in terms of medical situations. It's the same as an advance directive. If you're going to the hospital, I just ran across one of my spiritual daughters. She had a living will in place, and she named me and my daughters the beneficiaries. But she put something in place. You have
Mm-hmm.
to have something in place. Even if you have, which this is really critical, and people don't know it. If you have bank accounts and you don't have a beneficiary set up on your bank account, your money is going to the state. It's gonna be tied
Mm.
up. People
Mm.
don't think that. They was like, "Oh yeah, this is accounting that my family can get it."
Right.
No, they cannot. Even if you have a will that says that, you have to
Mhm.
be connected with your
Yeah.
financial industries. If you
Mm-hmm.
call now, nobody can get information on me because I have passwords on my bank account. But I
Mhm.
need to tell somebody because
Right.
you're already grieving. People take advantage
Right.
of you. So yes,
Yep.
you should plan to put some things in place. It doesn't matter how young you are, how old you need to have things in place for your transition because
Amen.
you will leave here. So yes,
Right.
I do think you
Right.
should.
Yeah.
So that's living well, preparing
Mhm.
even for death.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
It's a part of living well.
it is. It's a part of
So
life.
That's good.
so and the reason that Dr. Michelle is talking to us about this today is because she provides some of these services as well. So you want to tell us a little bit about that, what services you can provide?
So there are a gamut of legal forms that you need, and it's any type of legal form or legal documentation that you need. I can prepare those forms for you. You can do the power of attorneys. I can do living
Mm-hmm.
wills. I can do advance directives. I've even done simple divorce forms. I've done bankruptcy forms. Basically, any type of legal form that you can think of that you need, I can prepare those forms for
Mhm.
you. And now I'm not an attorney. I did take one business law class when I was working on my undergrad. Got an
Mhm.
A, but I am not an attorney. I won't say that I am not authorized. I had to do a couple of things for one of my dear friends that transitioned last May, and her
No.
neighbor kept saying, "Are you a lawyer? Are you?" And I said, "No, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer." But here are all my degrees, and this is why I'm qualified to do this, because I'm
Yes.
educated enough to do this, but I do a lot of reading, and I think that we must be prepared when we transition, and it's
Yeah.
something people don't like to think about death. They
Mm-hmm.
don't
Yeah.
like to think about it. They don't like to talk about it. They're like, oh, somebody died. And my mother-in-law wrote a play, and one of the things the lady said to her mother is, "You die and look for me to bury you." It was a line in the play, and that's what happened. Somebody died, and the lady came back and said, "I have to bury you," but she had everything in place. And people don't do life insurance like that. They just look for GoFundMe's. We didn't have
Mm.
insurance, or we don't have anything. And if you the first thing they ask you when somebody dies, were they married?
Mm-hmm.
Did they have
Mm.
children? And then it's a succession. It's the husband or the spouse. It's the spouse. It's the children. And if there's no children, it's the parents. If there are no parents, the state gets it. And we don't
Wow.
want the state. I don't want the state to get anything of mine.
Yeah.
And then it'll be held up in limbo. It can be held up in
Wow.
limbo for years and
Mhm.
years and years. So we have to do that. We even for things like the pandemic, people were getting sick. They were going to the hospital. They couldn't talk. Their loved ones couldn't talk with them because they didn't have a power of attorney
Yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
place. They didn't have a
That's right.
medical directive in place. You just because you're
Absolutely.
saying you're related to that person, they're not going to give you information. So we have
Mhm.
to live knowing that we're going to transition from here. Yes, we have to put
Yeah.
some things in place.
That's
Mm,
good.
that's good. So that's where we come in with, the power of life and death. It's in
Mhm.
our
Mhm.
tongue, but in our tongue we have the power, but we also have it in our hands. We have the
Right.
ability to live well. We have the ability to prepare to
Mhm.
die well.
Yes,
And
Yeah.
that's it.
I mean, because so many, like you said, and I've dealt with going to the funeral homes a whole lot. I remember one year back in the 1970s, I had so many people in my family that died at the same year. My
Oh
brother
wow.
passed, my grandmother
Wow.
passed, my aunt passed. Everybody was dying, and I was helping everybody for some unknown reason. I was helping everybody and going to the funeral homes, and even more recently. But there's always, as you said, that question. Oh, well, we got to find this insurance policy. We got to
Mhm.
find this. We got to,
Mhm.
and even just having it locatable,
Right.
if that's
Yeah.
a word I can use, because you know don't wait until don't have your family waiting. And I'm now going through all of these papers and things I have, because I don't want anybody to have to go through all of these papers I got
Mhm.
when I die. I don't want them, and hopefully I won't die tomorrow, because they're gonna be in trouble. So we gotta not wait until the last minute to try
Yeah.
to, I have a binder with most of my stuff in it. But there should not be, people should be able to have something somewhere, even if it
Yeah.
has a list of where everything is,
Right.
you
Mhm.
know. And so that I do have a list of most of the things that they need to know, how to access this or where to get it. And my
Mhm.
family has exchanged some information where we could. But a lot of people, we want to be so secretive and hold on to so much, and then when you die unexpectedly, but it's
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
unexpectedly, because we all know we're gonna die and go
We
from
have to
here.
die
Mhm.
one day. Right.
Mhm.
It's not unexpectedly. It is, an expectation that if you live, you will die. Elijah has already, is it Elijah or Elisha, right?
Mhm.
No, Elijah, who was taken up. Was it Dr. Michelle? Come on, theologian.
Mhm. Yeah,
That was
yeah.
already
And
taken up.
Elisha was
So,
said, he said, if you catch me when I'm going
right,
up, so
if
was
you see the
Elijah
mess.
going up.
So
And
the rest
Elisha
of
Mhm.
was
us,
behind him.
we're not just gonna disappear like that. Right now, we're
Mhm.
gonna just die unless it's the total rapture. Then none of us will have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
come on, get
Mhm.
your paperwork together.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you. Some of you have been. I think I've
My
been
daughter
picking
just
up.
popped on and said, yes,
Yeah,
I'm the
she
daughter.
said,
That's
help me.
nice.
She
She
said,
said,
I'm the
"Yes,
daughter.
Lord."
Yeah. So listen. So we have been in the pandemic, as I said, and people have been so burdened down with so
Mhm.
much of this information. And we
Yeah.
do understand that it is a hard subject sometimes for people to bring up, but at the same time, it is a necessary subject. So good for
Mhm.
you, Dr. Tabitha. Good for you. I'm still doing my spring cleaning. Just keep doing it till you get it right. So listen, I'm gonna we're just gonna take a break from this right quick, and I'm gonna put my girl on solo right here. I'm gonna let her go ahead and
Yes.
just bring us back to a place. So, because I know some of y'all get nervous when y'all hear these subjects, so I'm gonna let her just give y'all a little more laughter. And for a few minutes, we're gonna come back and we're just gonna usher ourselves on out with some information for you how to reach these young ladies. So, give it up for my girl, Ketta Keet.
Hello, everyone. All those who are tuning in, thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. This discussion has definitely been awesome. But I'm your girl, Ketta Keet. I'm the girl you want to meet, and as you can tell by my physique, I like potatoes and meat. Okay, so listen. Yes, listen, y'all. Look, speaking of potatoes and meat, we were talking earlier about, the weight gains and trying to get healthy and exercise and things like that. We all, many of us, gained weight during the pandemic and things like that. And I was just, talking to my good girlfriends earlier today, and they're on this chat. Shout out to them. And we were talking about getting healthy and exercising and stuff. And I said, you know what, y'all, I'm just being honest with you, and I gotta be honest with myself. I looked at myself one day and I was like, I have a dad bod. I didn't realize it. Until I looked at myself in the mirror, and they were laughing. I said, no, I'm thinking, with my clothes on and everything, I'm looking like Foxy Brown. And then I look at myself differently, clothes off, and I'm looking like Chuck Brown. So some gonna have to give. Chuck Brown said, I feel like busting loose. And yeah, and so do my jeans. So at this point, we're gonna have to work something out. We're gonna have to do something, to get back to get back in order. Okay. And I just feel like, real talk, I just feel that my I feel like I'm already a size 6. Okay. I just got to get rid of that one that's in front of it. Okay. So we talk about spiritual things. So spiritually, I'm already, a size 6. It just got to manifest in the natural. Now, as y'all see, I put this armor. Can y'all see that? I call that the bat wing. I have a whole problem with the fact that I have this going on. Okay. So this is definitely something that I'm going to have to work on, and this is one thing that I noticed about this. I noticed that when I wave to people and when I stop waving, this arm still keeps going. So watch. Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem. That's something going on with physics. Something is happening here because that shouldn't be happening. Okay. And speaking of weight loss and weight gain and stuff like that. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I love the winter time. I love the fall and I love the winter time because I like it when it's cold. Okay, because I have a little bit of weight on me, and now the summer time is about to come, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. I do not like the summertime because I have a little weight on me. Big people, we don't do that well. We don't do that well when it's hot. Okay, I don't do that well when it's hot. I start to sweat. I smell like spam in 90-degree heat. So, for me, this is another reason why I need to get this weight off. But what I notice is that now that the buildings are back open, we're going to church. We were going to church, attending church, and this is something that I notice. I'm a comedian, but comedians, we make observations. More than jokes, we make observations. One thing I observed going to church is that the church I grew up in, we had pews. You know, Old Baptist Church, we had pews. Well, now, including my church, now we have chairs. We have individual seats. Now, for me, I kind of take up a chair, maybe a chair and a half. I just want to know, why do ushers always like to sit two big people together? I don't understand it. Is it like the law of attraction? It's almost like the ushers say, like, you know what? They'll probably get along. They big. So you sit two big people together. Now I take up a chair and a half. You're gonna sit another big person beside me. We about the same size. So that person take up another chair and a half, maybe two. And so we both sitting there right beside each other. And we sitting there looking small. We just up. Yeah. We trying not to touch each other. And technically, we still in the pandemic. So many of us are still social distancing. But now, people are, churches are now opening. So now some of us is just sitting tight. You know what I'm saying? And don't let it be church anniversary. We got Easter, Resurrection Sunday coming up. So some of our churches gonna be like this. And so then the pastor has a nerve to talking about turn to your neighbor. Bro, I can't even see my neighbor right now. It's just on something. That's all we got. We can only twist at the waist. So to all my ushers and stuff out there, yeah, please stop doing that. Okay. It's not a good look. Okay. So so yeah, I just want to, just share some observations, just talk, speak of myself. Okay. So I know that there are some things that I have to get straight, before brimstone arrives. Okay. Because the weather in Virginia, in this Commonwealth, sometimes it's just brimstone. Summertime for me is repenting season. Okay. I repent at least 13 times a day. Okay. Because if this is any indication of how that's going to be, I'm not going. Okay. So yeah. So whatever y'all do, let's go ahead and do this thing together. Let's get together. Our health, exercising, our eating. We can do this, and we can do it together. All right. Together, our health. Yes. So yes, I hear you speaking, Lord. I hear you speaking. So yeah. So that's just my take. Okay. This is I'm your girl, Keet. Thank y'all so much. And I saw a few people that agree with me. Okay. Thank y'all so much.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah.
That was funny.
That was great. That was great. Listen, I'm like you. Yeah, you got to start repenting and doing some stuff, doing your first works over, right? So, listen, I am so excited that you ladies have joined us on tonight. And our audience, I hope that you were blessed by these ladies on tonight. We just wanted to remind you that you have the ability to live well. You have the ability to die well. You have the ability to do all things well through Jesus Christ, right? So, but even through Jesus Christ, we got some work that we have to do. We can't just expect the Lord to come down and do stuff for us that we can do for ourselves. So that's where we are today. So listen, I'm so excited. And I just want to ask Keet one. I got to go here, Keet. I'm sorry.
Sure.
So the Oscars came on recently. The Oscars came on recently.
Yeah.
And Lord, the poor comedians. I mean, y'all out there right now. So
yeah.
So do you have a bodyguard for your future shows?
I do not, but I'm gonna tell you what I did buy. I ordered, and I'm gonna tell y'all where I got this from. I call it the helmet of salvation. It's technically a full mask, but I ordered one of those the movie 300 Spartan masks. It's made of all plastic. And I ordered one and took a picture and put it on Facebook. And I made it just a simple post. Listen, due to recent events, immediately, this is what I will be wearing to every comedy and hosting engagement. I said, as it's cheaper than hiring security. Okay. Because
listen,
just want to be on the safe side. It protects me from all matters of slappery. So now, one thing I'm not going to do is try to offend anyone. I make sure I stay in my lane when it when it comes to that, so but I had to let folk know yesterday. But if you tried what happened last week, 5
Right.
words, run up, get done up.
It's not working over here.
We not,
Oh,
the Bible says to turn the other cheek, but I don't think that's what he meant.
mm-mm,
So
mm-mm. Not that way.
not that cheek. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sorry I had to bring it up.
No,
So,
That's
it's
okay.
it's okay. It's definitely been been the
yeah.
talk, and of course being a comedian,
Mhm,
clean Christian comedian. So that's why I make sure to stay, to stay in my lane when when it comes to that. So even being a comedian, and I know, we people talk about, well, they're a comedian. People
mhm,
tell jokes, and I do agree we are a comedian, but I guess just for me, this is just my opinion. I think I have a
mhm.
responsibility to kind
Mhm.
of be mindful of the
Right.
things that I do say.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I've been at
Mm.
a comedy show. I remember many years ago in New York, and someone tried to get on me because I made a move while they were doing their show, but
Yeah.
I made a move because someone spilled a drink on my back, and so I
Wow.
jumped up, and so then I became the spotlight. And that thing may mess me up. And I was like, I will never go to a comedy show again.
Mhm.
So, it's easy to want to go out there and punch somebody in the face. At the same time, yeah, because you don't want to be the center of every joke, but at the same time, I believe that, there was so much wrong with the whole picture. But I'm not going to even get into that right now. But I'm praying
Wow.
for, all of the innocent involved.
Absolutely.
I'll
Yeah.
just put it that way. All of
Yeah.
the innocent involved. If you're innocent, I'm praying for you. If you're not, I'm not praying. No, I'm praying for I'm a closet comedian. See,
We
Yeah.
all have it in us. I'm
yeah,
telling you, we all have it in us. Yeah.
I am. All right, so ladies, tell us how these wonderful people who have joined us in the audience, Demetria Bowie, she is the most I'll tell you, this lady, she is a magazine editor and
Ooh.
publisher. She is the publisher of my book, my one book that I've written so far, which is Let the Vision Speak. And she's written, I don't know, probably almost 100 books by now herself, but she is an awesome lady. So thank you for joining us on tonight, Demetria.
Amen.
Mhm.
So tell us how our audience can get in touch with you in the future, and if you have something coming up that you want to share with them.
Me or Dr.
Yeah,
You can.
yes, you can
Yeah.
start.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
You can.
That's
Yes.
okay.
Okay. So, I can be definitely followed on social media, Facebook as well as IG. And that's Ketta Keet, and that's KettaKeet. And I usually post any upcoming engagements that I do have
Hmm.
as well. Let's see. My website is not complete yet, but I'm it's definitely in the works to being completed. And let's see.
You have any upcoming shows that you could tell us about?
I have a few coming up in April, but they're some of them are private.
Okay, okay.
Whether it's family reunions or
Hmm.
birthday celebrate, things like that. But I definitely will keep you posted. But I do have some other projects that's in the works that actually me and my sister, shout out to my sister Tammy Terrell, that we do
Oh,
have something coming up.
awesome.
So can't really share a whole lot about it right
That's
now because it's
fine.
definitely still in the planning
Hmm.
stages. But that is definitely going to be awesome. So definitely look for that. Since now things are opening up a little more, we
Hmm.
can kind of move forward with the planning.
And where
Um,
can we get your music that you released in October?
Yes.
yes. My single,
What's the
My
name
Light.
of it again?
Oh, My Light.
I'm
Featuring
sorry, you got
Gigi.
stuck. I'm sorry, you got stuck. Can you say it one more time? What's the
Sure.
name of it?
Yes, ma'am. My Light.
Okay.
My
Hmm.
Light, and you'll find it under Keet, featuring Gigi. And it's on all streaming platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Title, as well. So definitely check it out. Let me know what you think. I was really excited to definitely record that and finally release that. So
Awesome.
let's see. I'm trying
That's
to get
nice.
yeah.
I know I listened to it. I listened to it when you first released it, so I'll have to go back and listen to it once again. I'm not sure if I downloaded it or purchased it, but I definitely will. I
Thank
believe I
you.
did, but I'm so I put on my stuff and I just press shuffle. So I got like a million songs on there, so I don't even remember what's on there anymore.
Yes.
That is
Awesome.
wonderful.
Dr. Michelle, so tell us about what you have coming up and where our audience can find you.
So I'm relatively getting new stuff. So my work page is being worked on. Um, Gwen is going to complete that for me. Just, really started my YouTube channel, but mine is Empowered to Change Consulting LLC. My
Hmm.
email is empowered to change consultant LLC at gmail.com. That's my YouTube page. That's my Facebook page. And my website is going to be drzempowered.com. So those are
Hmm.
going to be in the works. I should be doing a full-fledged launch,
Very soon.
accepting new clients. Gwen is my coach. So we're planning to roll something out like in the next couple of weeks. And so I'm really excited about that. I really enjoyed myself. So thank you again for having me, Keet. I
Yes.
certainly enjoyed you so much. I'm going to try to follow you on
Yes, ma'am. And
Facebook
you
because
too. Thank
we're
you.
trying to come up with some events at church, and I would so love for you to be our guest at the church. It's going to be
Awesome. I
wonderful.
would love to. And I was going to say too, for anyone who was watching,
Right.
listening,
Yeah.
holla at your girl. Uh,
And don't holler for
Yeah,
free.
yeah. Don't holler for
no,
free.
Don't holler
Yes.
for free.
I'm for hire.
Hmm.
Right. Right.
Yes, and we
She's
pay
not gonna
well,
charge you as much as Will Smith or Chris Rock, but sorry, I
and
just
we
keep
pay well.
going there, right?
Thank you.
We pay well. Oh, my son is on Elder J. Yes. So
Thank you.
we just I just really thank you for the opportunity to be here and share this platform with
Absolutely.
Keta. I so enjoyed her.
Me too. Oh, thank you.
But I don't have
Awesome.
anything upcoming that I can think of except the launch. And so I'm
All
gonna
right.
try to get more social media savvy.
Awesome. So we will be publishing her launch, and so you'll hear more from me because I am her coach, VIP coaching and consulting.
Yes.
If you're looking for a coach, holla at your girl, as she said. Yes, let's work together. We can do some great things. So,
Yes.
Awesome.
thank you, ladies, so much. I really appreciate you coming and joining us on today,
Thank
and
you.
Thank
I
you
look
for having me.
forward to seeing you all again soon and chatting with you. Definitely
Hmm.
got to get you back out, Keet, to do some great
Yes.
things for us. We enjoyed you in December when you came and did
Oh, thank you.
Chief Apostles.
Oh,
Anniversary.
that
Oh
was
my
Keta
God,
Key.
that was
Yes.
her. She
Oh
was in
my
the audience. She
God.
didn't even
Yes,
know
I
that was
was
you.
there. Oh my God. I didn't realize that. I was
Yes,
there.
Yes.
It was
she is
fantastic.
hilarious.
Yes.
She's
Thank you.
hilarious.
Oh, bless
So
y'all. Thank y'all so much.
she was
Oh
in her
yeah.
costume. So
She was.
in her she was
Exactly.
in her role. She played the whole
Oh yes,
role.
she was. I didn't know that was you. Oh my God. Oh yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, so
Yes.
ladies,
Oh
go
my God.
ahead if you are having an event and you're looking for a great person to come in to give you
Oh
some good
yeah.
clean comedy and
Yes.
make you laugh and feel good. This is the young lady for you.
Yes.
All right,
Thank
ladies.
you.
You all have a good night because we could just keep on going and keep on
Thank
going.
you.
But it's
You're
been
welcome.
wonderful. Thank you so
This was
much.
awesome. Thank
Bless
you
you.
all
Good
so
Thank
night.
much.
you. Good
All
night.
right. All right, ladies, thank you again for joining us. I just want to give you one quick announcement. I am still taking pre-orders, There's been a little bit of a delay, but I am taking pre-orders for um, my upcoming release of my prayer guide, the Visionaries Prayer Guide. So, all of you visionaries out there, if you're looking for something to assist you as you pray for the vision that God has given you, this prayer guide is going to be an absolute enhancement to your ministry, your business. God has really given me this in my spirit, and I believe that you can be wonderfully blessed by this. So just check out this little video as we all go.